My name is Danny McCubbin and I work for a drug rehabilitation community in Italy called San Patrignano and also for the Jamie Oliver Food Foundation in the UK. I've lived an incredible life with food. My grandparents were dairy farmers from Bow Desert. My dad made us, well, didn't make us, he encouraged us to know about food. I didn't know anything about food being packaged. We used to kill our own chickens, we used to gut them, we used to pluck them. We had our own chooks, we did everything really. I love what I do. At 15, we teach disadvantaged young people to be top-class chefs, and in Italy, at San Patrignano, many of the young people train to be brilliant cheesemakers, meat curers, and chefs. I've gotten to a point in my life where I appreciate everything I'm doing. There's nothing more than I want, but in day-to-day life, living in London, when I complain about the tube or the weather's not so good, I turn around and I think about these kids, you know? These kids from 15, these kids from San Patrignano whose lives have been horrendous, you know, some of the stories they tell, and then for me, I want to help more kids. You know, they make me want to help more kids. Cooking, preparing and eating food plays a major part in the residents' rehabilitation at San Patrignano. To my mind, it's about young people. I mean, they're our future. Jamie says the same thing with everything that he does around cooking, around food. He's a big believer as well that families that eat together survive and get along and talk. We don't communicate as much anymore, so it's not just food as in preparing the meal, it's not just eating the meal, but it's actually sitting down and talking at the dinner table too, which is part of the healing process. San Patrignano really is a unique community. It is completely free and it has a 72% success rate. I think the notion of drugs and talking about drug addiction it's like maybe what it was like to talk about divorce 40 years ago or 30 years ago. People were being divorced and getting divorced and being separated, but you just wouldn't talk about it. And I think there is this notion that it's not going to affect me and that a drug addict is somebody that's on the street and that's emaciated and sitting there asking for money. But drugs infiltrate a lot of our lives on many different levels, whether it be alcohol, whether it be hard drugs, whether it be some of the kids I'm working with in London now who have been smoking heroin for 10 years and have rung me and want to go to San Patrignano. I think if we can talk about drugs in the notion of not the drug itself, but why a young person in their life would take a drug. To my mind, and what I'm learning is that there's a void that the drug fills. Once they start taking that drug, there's a void every day. So then that's when the addiction happens, and that's when the drug addiction happens. I am working hard to establish San Patrignano in the UK. I now help anyone here who is addicted to drugs to enter the community in Italy. Working at San Patrignano has really changed my life forever.